Hi guys, welcome to the Monday night webinar. Well, actually, it's supposed to be Sunday night, but it was Monday night, and I woke up today thinking it was Sunday, and then I was talking to the missus, and she said, "No, it's Sunday. That's Monday," because usually the grandkids he's playing around with his computer and kids and everything, and I thought that's strange. He's not around. I thought, well, usually he's around. So then I asked the missus, then I'll come back and send your message, Garth, and he said it was bloody Monday, and I thought, oh shit, it's bloody Monday today. But that's what happens. You just lose track of time, and obviously, you don't. It's not like I got to go to a job, so that's what happens. It's just one of those problems that because every day is the same. Not like back in the day you had to, you had your 5 days a week that you'd know that you'd have to work, and then sometimes you'd work. If you worked a job, you'd sometimes work the morning. I remember I used to work the odd Saturday morning at not the last job we were at, but the previous job. It was double time and a half, but it wasn't really worth it because you pay more tax that bloody 4 hours. So so it was like that was a routine back then. It was 5 days a week, and then it was like the odd Saturday just to bump your wage up. But back then, I was making good money. I was making more than I was at our last job that we were at, Garth, and that was a good 10 years, Brad. It would have been 10 years, easy 10. No, maybe more, 15 years. I was making 15 years. I was making the same money, more money than we were at my last job, but I was doing crazy hours to get it. So. But back then, I was working that job, and I was living at home, because I was just only like 22 or something, or 21. So I was maybe more, 24. So I was living at home. I was making more $1,000 plus a week. This is going back 15 years ago, which was good money back then. And then probably average money now. And then didn't have any expenses. I didn't have any overheads. So all the money I'd give mum and dad $50 to pay for the food, and that was it.
Yeah, sweet.
Good old days, But nowadays, $1,000 doesn't get you far these days, does it?
No, and to show you a sign of the times, so you know how we have remember when the $1 coin came out?
Oh yeah,
right, and it replaced the $1 note.
Yeah.
Right. So now the $2 coin, you know how the $2 coin it replaced the $2 note,
Yep. What now?
and then
$5.
the $5 coin,
Is that $5 coin?
$5 coin replacing the $5 note. Yep.
When that happened?
I don't know. I saw it I don't know, a couple week ago. I've actually seen a $5 coin, but yeah. So I think it's funny. That's what happens to fiat. It just slowly obliterates into nothing. It's just worthless. And inflation just keeps going up and up and up. Doesn't stop. And that just reminds me of I think you posted in the Discord group about, was it you that posted about Venezuela? There was another country that literally has 100% inflation. Did you post something
Argentina.
on that?
Argentina's the latest one.
Yeah. Decimated. I don't know what their crypto adoption is, but man, they're like so many other countries like that where their fiat's just dead. It's just gone. They're worthless now.
They're going through big problems at the moment. Just like a lot of these South American countries or Central American countries, they're all the same. Venezuela, there was what was the other one? There's a few of them. The Greece, now Argentina, because the fiat's just they mismanage the country. Because what they do is they have this thing, right, that this is what happened in Venezuela. They have socialism, and it's like in Cuba, right? So basically, they have free healthcare or whatever. They have free. A lot of shit's free, and they just the country supports it. They have this is the socialist thing, and socialism doesn't work. Anyway, but the problem was with Venezuela that was all supported by oil. When the oil crashed, they were in deep shit. because the currency crashed, and then people couldn't pay people. They were buying shit. They were selling the oil real cheap, and this is how stupid they were. They even in Venezuela, they confiscated all the crypto miners. What people were doing was when they realized that the fiat was crashing, and the percentage was like some stupid percent. It was like 10,000% or something. So it was massive inflation. Even now, they can't even buy food. So what they were doing, people were doing was they were buying Bitcoin miners, and even though they were only making like $1 a day, because electricity's cheap over there. Even though they're making $1 or $2 a day, that was still massive money to them. And the government went in and just did all these raids and confiscated the Bitcoin miners.
It's incredible, isn't it? Yep. So you're just trying to survive, and then they just wipe you out. Cool.
Well, here's the dumbest thing about it. The government could have just got all those Bitcoin miners and start mining. They probably did start mining them for themselves, or just put tons of money into mining Bitcoin, and that would have helped some of the economy. And I don't know how much they need to survive, but it'd be millions a day, or maybe I don't know how much it could sustain the economy, the socialist system.
Yep.
So yeah, it's terrible.
Interesting. So the other top 10 countries with the highest inflation rates: Venezuela, Zimbabwe, Sudan, Lebanon, Syria, Suriname, Argentina, Turkey, Iran, and Ethiopia. They're the top 10 currently.
What's the common denominator amongst all them? Do you know?
No, you tell me.
Well, I wouldn't say common denominator, but it's pretty. They run some sort of socialist republic, and they have some like a dictator.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah, they have like some sort of socialist or autocratic system where the powers to be. There's no real democracy, and everyone relies on the actual country, the people, the government. That's how they want it to run. So then they rely on the government, and that's how the government controls them. Yeah, they're all the same. All Angola, what was it? Sudan, Venezuela. They're all autocratic.
Okay, there you go. Interesting. And there are going to be probably more countries. More countries like this happening very soon. So, yes, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, good to see you.
Yeah, what's been happening in crypto, dude?
Yeah, not a lot really. I mean, there is a lot, but you'll probably touch on it in a minute. But a sense of the actual Bitcoin itself hasn't really been moving much.
It was 25 something last time, under 26, yeah.
Yeah, so it really hasn't done much. It's probably the best time to accumulate. Ethereum's 1635, which is pretty good to buy. BNB's 214. I remember when BNB was like 300. Well, it's cheap. So even Dogecoin's like 6 cents. Solana's not under $20. It's 1979, so that's down. Toncoin just keeps on going up and up and up. It's still
20% this week.
It's massive. So all these Litecoin 64 cents is down quite a bit. It hit over $100 at the peak in the last probably 6 months. Polygon's 54 cents. So all these are good to accumulate now. Bitcoin Cash is under $200, but Stellar Stellar was the one that had a 10% spike. I know you can't see it, so I'll probably show you. But the reason, Stellar's always been a pretty solid one. Because they've been getting like heaps of deals and stuff. But if you go to here, it says Stellar explodes. just talks about Bitcoin. Yeah, they get a lot of big partnerships with a lot of big companies. Like they actually trust Stellar. So yeah, it's been because they've been around for a long time and they're still around here. Further gains are evident with the likes of Rocket Pool and Synthetics. Yeah, so Stellar's like a layer one that's good, reliable, has been around for a long time, cheap fees.
Yeah.
So yeah, it wouldn't hurt to just buy these layer ones, like we always say, and just ride them. See, I wouldn't actually be going into these protocols and try to stake, because I think I got a message from Henry the other day, and he lost some money in something. I don't know what it's called, but he lost a bit of money in that. I'm assuming it's some sort of staking or some sort of protocol or some sort of system or coin or something it was. I can't remember what it was, but he said that he lost some money in it, and I said to him, "Yeah, don't put your money in crypto in the sense that you're going to be trying to get something back, because it's just not going to work. You're going to lose money." And I just said to him, "Keep on accumulating." What was it? It was BaseSwap. I don't know what BaseSwap is. I might have a look at that. Yeah, you wanted to talk about some stuff, didn't you?
Yeah, some gossip. Let's call it gossip. Not that it really interests me that much, but it was BitBoy. That's his name on YouTube. So let's share the screen and let me find BitBoy on YouTube. Yeah, I'm gonna put him in a clown. Like, look, I must admit, I subscribe to him. I've watched his videos before. Yeah, so I've done that, and then he always sort of like was following, that part with FTX where he went after FTX and stuff like that. That was very interesting, and now it's even more interesting with what's happened with BitBoy. So let me just bring up BitBoy.
Yeah, these sort of guys, they got so much because they're so famous in crypto, and they got so much money that they start to unravel and start to really just show the true colors, because they're just really mentally unstable. And but people forgive him. People will forgive him. He had an affair or something. I don't know. You talk about it.
Yeah. So let's share the screen. Let's go to, here we go. So this is 3 days ago. He's crying. His missus is crying. We need to talk, blah, blah, blah. Now, he was getting 9,500 views a day. This nearly 200,000 views. I haven't watched the video. I'm not even going to bother because I've seen I saw a basic analysis from someone else. So from what I can gather, he had an affair, and it was all over Twitter. And then since then, I think in the Discord, in the Discord group, I think I posted the link with the news article. So let's just jump into that quickly. Where is it down here? Yeah, here you go. So this is basically what happened. So the whole brand, BitBoy Crypto brand, will no longer include YouTuber Ben Armstrong. Now, that's his, this is his channel called BitBoy Crypto with 1.44 million subscribers, and basically he's no longer affiliated with BitBoy Crypto, which is sort of weird because you think he is BitBoy Crypto. But what's going on is the parent network, the parent company is called Hit Network. It controls the BitBoy Crypto brand, and it's cut ties with the public face, Ben Armstrong. So now I sort of under the impression that he, put this company together, blah, 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 and maybe he did. But essentially, BJ Investment Holdings, the parent company of Hit Network, took legal action and removed Ben Armstrong from the company, and specifically the BitBoy Crypto brand. So there's obviously a big, there's a lot going on and built up through this, and a lot of people involved and employed a lot of people. And this basically spokesperson said they wanted to assist Armstrong during his relapse into substance abuse, and they ended the business relationship. And at the same time, it was reported on Twitter that he was having an affair as well. It was all over crypto. I don't have the details of that, but yeah, you only got to put that into Twitter and have a look. But yeah, basically, even though he has got all these fans, which we can see here, people will still, watch him, I suppose, because they're idiots, but he would have lost a lot of people. Remember, he's basically been accused of pushing FTX investments. When FTX was around and he was making a lot of money. Didn't disclose how much money he was making off FTX. And of course, it went to the wall, and he pushed a lot of people and made a lot of money off that. And it's all coming sort of out. So there's a lot going on with this, and I just think it's the end. I gave up him a long time ago. I think he's just lost the plot. This happens to so many people that, think the world revolves around them because they've built up a big business. But at the end of the day, you have an affair, or you start doing, taking drugs, doing the wrong thing. It'll catch up with you, and that's exactly what's happened here. So yeah, so many people have lost money to people like BitBoy Crypto, and it's such a shame. But we're seeing this, all these people that have been around for a long time, and then we discover they're what's going on in the background. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show you, like, he's just mentally unstable from the get-go, and that's what money does. It's either going to make you better or it's going to make you worse. It's just going to multiply or amplify what you really are, and he's just a dirtbag. So that's what that's what he's doing. He's just playing out the record that he is, and it's just going to go around circles. So. I don't really give a shit about him, and he probably went on that video and had a bit of a cry, so he get a bit of sympathy from his supporters.
Of course.
And yeah, that's what they all do. They all play the victim role, and that's really not what you want to see someone that if they have an affair or they do drugs, when you see them when they play the victim role, they haven't got over it. They just blaming external things, not themselves. And it's. Whereas if he would have just gone up and said, "Look, it's my fault, and I'm not going," and if he changes his ways, but with the amount of money that he's got, I heard that he had like $30 million. So when you get to that point where you got more money than sense, that's what happens. You do drugs and you do have an affair. And obviously, his wife's probably upset, but if she was smart, she'd just stick with him for about another 6 months and then get a divorce. And then 30 million of that, well, he'd lose half of it instantly. So she's probably in the ball. She's probably going to stick around with him because obviously, she probably loves him. But there's only so much that she can take until,
he has another affair and stuff like that. Yeah.
I mean, he's going to lose half his crypto if he doesn't wise up. He's really lucky that his wife's staying by him. I'm assuming that she's staying by him because he was in the video. But she could just take half. You know what divorces are like in America? It's like,
especially in the States. Yeah, half for sure.
Oh, mate, they get right behind it. They make a it's like a big event, and they all get involved and they all they're all there with a handout, give me the money. So in America's notorious for that. So, hope he sorts himself out, but I won't be watching him. So the base swap thing that Andrew was talking about was it's like it's got to do with Sui blockchain, the ultimate DEX on Sui.
Yeah.
So I'd have to have a look on. I don't know the news on it, but he just said that there was maybe he got into the wrong time. I'm not sure, but so this was a DEX that was pretty big on Sui because Sui is like a one of the blockchains that really took off. There's a couple of them that are really big now. and Sudo is one of them. So I'll have to look more into that. But there was a graph not long ago I saw with the latest blockchains, and obviously Arbitrum was the biggest one that had the most volume, and then there was Sui, then there was another one as well. So these smaller layer ones, they're kind of a bit of a gamble because they are difficult to get that adoption. But if they do well and they have a good team behind them, getting into the ground floor. It's like Polygon. When you first got into Polygon, it was like 2 or 3 cents for years, and then it just went boom to $1, I think $1.50 or something. So that's the sort of thing you're gambling on, like what Polygon was like, So yeah, Sui, Arbitrum. These ones are smaller layer ones, which and layer twos that if you want to gamble on them. For the long term, yeah, that'd be good if they can pull through. So yeah, I have to do some more research on that. But Sui's been around. I don't even know if I got the airdrop. I'll have to have a look. But I do these airdrops, and I didn't even bother checking them. But maybe there's some airdrops there.
It appears that Base Swap lost 45% in the last month.
Yeah, well, that's probably what he's talking about because of the he probably bought into it, and then the value dropped. So that's probably what he's talking about. Probably lost 50% of his value. So that's what that is. And that's down to the crypto. That's also down to where we're at with Bitcoin. So if you can hang on, and you believe in the actual project long term, it'll come back. Well, it should come back if it's got good people behind it. Nigeria dominates global crypto awareness charts. So yeah, like I said before, I said this like 2 or 3 webinars ago. Where we're going to see the mass adoption with crypto is once, especially Africa. Africa's the biggest emerging country in the world in terms of population and the GDP, right? And it's not China anymore. China are going broke. China are bringing all their machinery and they're going to Africa because it's cheap labor and they can just import all the machinery because they already have all the tech which they stole off the United States. So it's going full circle. Now it's going to go to China are now exporting their labor into African countries because African countries are cheap labor and they're mainly somewhat automated, or a lot of the machinery is now pretty easy to use because it's all robots and it's all easy to understand. So the China's got the tech. China's got the tech for it, and they just need cheap labor to run their factories and whatever they can't do as cheap in China. It's exactly what America did. Got too expensive for America. They went to China with all their machines and all the tech. Now China doing the same. Got too expensive for China. Now they're bringing all the tech they stole from America. Now they're bringing it to Africa, and Africa will probably steal their tech, and then they will get their cost of living will go up. That's when we're going to see crypto adoption really start to take off. But the problem with that is it's going to take at least 10 to 15 to 20 years. So, like I said, two or three, 4 webinars ago, when you got the population of Nigeria and Uganda and all these West African countries, once they start to move out of poverty and start to get more money, and they're not living in huts anymore, they're living in actual houses. Once their standard of living is going up, and it's happening now, but I'm talking the masses, they're going to get expendable cash. They're going to have money to burn, and they're going to be more favorable to crypto now because they already are crypto savvy. Africa's the biggest country in the world that is crypto savvy. It's not China. It's not USA. The biggest growth is in Africa. So that's what's going to happen with crypto. We just, it's just going to take a while. That's so that's going to be good for Bitcoin. And Nigeria's the big dog in Africa. They've got the data there to suggest that proves it. And once they adopt it and get it in a big way, there's going to be millionaires in Nigeria, more if not billionaires, and they're all going to be getting into crypto. So good stuff for us, but obviously it's going to take a while to happen. There was a couple of other things that I wanted to talk about. I can't remember. Yeah, there's really not a lot really happening in crypto. Like we're looking at over $1 trillion market cap. So even the market cap of market cap of crypto is down by at least 200 billion. So really at a stage where you're going to be accumulating and buying more of this stuff as you can. This is a new one I haven't seen for a while. It's called Mantle. It's up. It's in 32nd position. Mantle, MNT, and it's maybe it's like a DEX or something. Mass adoption of token governance technologies. The Ethereum roll-up Mantle, just treasury of a token governed roadmap. Okay, that's interesting because I've never seen this project before, but it's now in 32. Mantle journey, 20 million into a reward pool launched. Have you seen this one before? I've never seen this one before.
We haven't talked about it in Discord, no.
Yeah, so see, it's number 32. Yeah. It's on 3.9% this 7 days, but I've never seen it. Now it's moved up. It's above a lot of these Arbitrum, Aptos. So it's kind of like, it's ahead of a lot of these bigger near optimism, So, when you see these things kind of like start to move up, you're thinking, what the hell's going on? It's got 1.45 billion market cap. So something's happening here. With Mantle, we built power products on Ethereum. Yeah, that's interesting. So,
it's like its own chain, and a lot of the if you have a look at DeFi Llama, there's actually a lot of other dApps that are on that platform which have done really well. It's like really interesting. The last month they've gone up a lot. So wow. Okay. Yeah, I'll just show you that screen if you like on DeFi Llama. Yeah, can you see it? Yep. Okay, so they got total value lock 36 million. But if you come down here, you can see these are all the other projects, right? Now, these are DEXs, lending, but you can see in the last month, look how much they changed in, I suppose, the money flowing in the TVL. So the money's been coming in like doubled into these DEXs, lending, cross-chain. This is quite a few. So yeah, it's really interesting. So a lot of these ones, even though it's still small amount of money, like in TVL, yeah, it's interesting because that maybe is something to do with them moving on up. I don't know too much about that one, but yeah, there's quite a bit of stuff going on Mantle. There you go.
Yeah. See, so a lot of this stuff is still happening behind the scenes with crypto. It's just a lot of the stuff that's pretty boring and you don't kind of, it's just kind of happening there, but it's just one of those things where you just have to kind of like follow this stuff because it could blow up. It's like getting into, something really, really early. And then riding it, because that's really where you're going to make the money if you get into something really early and then hold it for a period of time. I'm talking, several years. Like getting into Polygon, when it was like 1 cent, and then Even Solana was like
so
2
Mantle
cents.
just add Mantle was BitDAO. BitDAO has migrated to Mantle. So there you go.
That's why the pump, probably.
Yeah.
BitDAO,
BitDAO.
So they've not rebranded? Rebranded, would you say?
Yeah, I think BitDAO still has got their website. Let me have a quick look. Oh no, BitDAO now switches to Mantle.
There you go.
So,
that's an
basically
name.
Ethereum, Ethereum roll up, which you talked about before. So, so that was BitDAO, and BitDAO's been around for a while, since maybe 21, I think.
So you can, it looks like it's very similar to the other layer 2s. What's layer 1, layer 2? Yeah, it's you connect up, you can start to use that platform, and start playing around with it. Pretty much a lot of the stuff you're going to move Ethereum over to it, and then you can start interacting with their platform. And they got like a this stuff is like cookie cutter, right? Kind of like they all do it, right? They're all the same. Like they all go through the same sort of protocols. They got the main bridge here. You connect up obviously with a MetaMask, and then you deposit, you move Ethereum over. So the gas fee required from Ethereum 1, obviously, that's going to cost them the layer 2. So that's very similar to Optimism, very similar to Arbitrum. You got to move Ethereum into it to start interacting with it. They got like a migrator. Oh, okay, that would have been for the old BitDAO coins. They got a bridge, and this is the thing with
probably
crypto.
Get hacked in 6 months' time.
You'd think that there's enough people that know what they're doing, but it happens all the time.
Obviously not.
And this is the thing that I have with crypto that's kind of like a pet hate. It's every single one: Optimism, Arbitrum, Polygon, Sui. They're all the same. They're basically, you've got to get money into the ecosystem, and this process to do it, you got to bridge it over, and then it costs you gas, and it's basically all like on Ethereum because they have like a layer 2, so you got to move it over. But this is the thing that really is it's not user friendly, and this is the biggest problem with who the hell's going to know how to do this shit if you're new? No one's going to know how to do it. You even experienced people, they've got to like, okay, so now where's the bridge? Now where are the pools? Like, how do I do it? Or like, how do I get my money in? How do I get my money out? It's like, there's so much doubt.
Yeah.
And a newbie's not going to know how to do this shit. And that's the problem with with adoption. You've got to better make it seamless, or it's not going to work. It's just not going to work.
It's got to be simple, like your bank account, how you do the apps in the bank account, or PayPal. Like literally, even though they're centralized, they have to get to that stage. And eventually we're going to get there. They're getting better. But yeah, you just basically have an app. Who knows? It could be Apple Pay. It could be what we're already used to. And in the background, it just does it in crypto. You know what I mean? Like that could be exactly what happens.
Yeah, I just think that there's so many barriers and friction right now in crypto that it's challenging for new people to get into it, and that's going to be the issue. It's always been the issue with crypto. It's not seamless, like you said. But I think it'll get to a point where the options get limited. That's when people are going to go, well, shit, I got no other option. See, right now, that's like back in the day, people used to go and, hunt for their food, and they used to, literally have to kill a pig or a cow or whatever they're hunting to survive. Now we just go to the supermarket. Everything's there. And so until there's an option where we have to use crypto and we've got no other option, or it's going to be like inflation country, these fiat currencies go down, then that's when people are going to be like, oh, well, I have to really get into crypto now. I have to understand it to know what I'm doing. Actually, I didn't tell you what I've been up to. I was going to tell you at the beginning. Yeah, I've still been doing my gardening, but I haven't weighed myself. But I am wearing this shirt, right? And I couldn't get into it before, and now I'm starting to. I haven't done. Here's the biggest thing, right? I know this is off crypto, but I was going to tell you in the beginning. I forgot.
Yeah.
The biggest thing about if you're into losing weight and you want to look at your diet, right? Because this is kind of like my core belief. This is kind of like my epiphany, my latest thing that I knew about, but I didn't really understand it totally. Right? Let's say you want to become a millionaire or a billionaire, right? And you want to make a ton of money. Everyone wants to make a ton of money, whether that's out of crypto or in crypto. Everyone wants to make a ton of money so then they can do what they want to do, right? You don't have to go to a job. You can just do what you do because you got the coin, right? You're good, right? That's what everyone wants. That's the dream. But if you go back on the steps, which is why a lot of people fail, is because they don't understand the process. And the process, it's a mental thing, and then it's mental. And I struggle with this process all the time. It's a mental thing, right? First of all, you got to conceive it, to believe it, and then you've got to do the work physically, out there. You've got to actually get off your ass and do something for them to materialize, for you then to make the money. You got to provide something of value. People do a value exchange. Simple, hey, I got this worth $1,000 and I'm selling it for $50. If there's a clear value exchange, people are going, give me that. That's what it is. Just a clear value exchange. But if you go back before that, keep on going back and back and back. Obviously, it's a mental thing. That's why all these gurus, it's a mindset thing. Yeah, they are right. They are right. But what they fail to tell you is that it's a mindset thing, but the execution, it's all about the execution. That's the biggest thing that people fail about. But if you go back even more, okay, this is the biggest epiphany that I had recently. If you want to do all this stuff, it takes you a lot of stress. It takes a lot of energy, right? And it's not easy. That's why everyone's not rich or they're still at the day job. And there's nothing wrong with that because it's easy to do, right? Just turn up to work, fucking clock in and get paid, right? Go home. Hey, I did it for 20 years. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's easy money, right? It's easy money. You don't have to think. You're just a zombie and you just get told what to do. That's a trade-off. So the point is this, to do what you have to do to get a ton of money and to become wealthy, to then do what you want to do, really follow your passions, is it takes a lot of stress. And to operate, to do that, you have to, your body has to be right, because it all starts with the shit that you put in your mouth, right? And that's what's killing people. And I went to the shopping center the other day and I was talking to my missus and I said to her, look, see all the shit, see all that, see that? So that's all sugar. And see all this, it's all sugar. And then I had to thought to myself, there's nothing in the shopping center that's really healthy for you. There's nothing in here that's healthy for you. Even the fruits and vegetables are being picked 3 or 4 weeks prior, and they already lost 50% of the nutrients. There's some things like Whole Foods and stuff, which is like dried and stuff, which still has a lot of protein, a lot of nutrients and stuff. My point is this. So if you go to the shopping center and you're buying the shit to put in your mouth, to then feed yourself, to then you're the engine, and then to then use that energy to then, do what you got to do, execute, right, to then make some goddamn money so then you can do what you want to do. By putting the stuff in your mouth first, you are literally just like taking one step back. You're going one step forward and taking 2 steps back. Literally, that's exactly what you're doing, because you're putting shit in your mouth and then you're expecting to come out with something magical. It's not. Shit in, shit out. So long story short, I've lost a ton of weight and I haven't even done an ounce of exercise. And the reason is, it's because all this shit they're telling you is a scam, right? It's all the sugary shit is what keeps your body really kind of like you're destroying your body. Sugary foods, meat, to some degree, a lot of meat, and toxins and chemicals and stuff that you put in your mouth, heaps of stuff like that, right? So, yeah, going back to what I said, if you want to make a ton of money, you're gonna have to expend a lot of energy, and it's really going to take a lot out of you. It's going to be very stressful, but you can do it, and a lot of people have. But you really got to operate at a different level, and that's why you see a lot of these guys that they make a ton of money and they go and spend thousands of dollars, tens and thousands of dollars on diet, good food, and everything. Now, I'm not saying do it now. I'm saying at least try to eat healthy, and then once you get tons of money, I remember the basketball, watching LeBron James, and he spends like $1 million a year on his body, like on food, chef. He has like these bath salts, ice wash house things. He goes in these chambers, all this shit that's supposed to help your body, because he needs his body to work at optimum, because obviously he plays basketball. But it's like that with anything we do. If you're going to start, you got to start with a good base. My dad's father said this: you got to start with a good base. He used to say, you got to start with a good base, and his base was tons of sugar in his coffee, because then that would give him a rush, and that's what would kick him off of the day. That was. But I remember he said, you got to start with a good base, and he was right. You got to start with a good base, because if you don't have that good base, you're not going to be able to operate at the level that you need to do. It's going to give you more clarity. It's going to give you more focus. You're going to start to see things that you never saw before, because you're putting shit in your mouth. And now I'm looking at it, and I'm looking, damn, I've lost weight. I even said to my missus, I've lost weight, and I haven't done any exercise. Imagine if I was exercising every day and I was doing like sit-ups and push-ups and stuff. I'd have like a ripped six-pack within like 90 days. I literally would. And I don't even have to like buy a course or get personal training and all that sort of shit that you see that they're trying to sell you. It's all bullshit, right? It's all they just want you to buy stuff. So then that's how the fitness industry works. They want to, they notice they give you this proteins and stuff, protein shakes and all this sort of stuff. It's all full of sugar. It's all full of sugar. So going back towards, kind of like, I know it's not really related to crypto directly, but it's indirectly related to crypto, because, if you're going to get to a point where you make a ton of money in crypto or outside of crypto, and you put it into crypto, and you do both offline, online, whatever you're doing, right? Crypto, you got some money, and you made a ton of money now. You're not going to live that long or longer than you would, because you're putting shit in, so that's the whole point. Because there's no substitute for health. You can have all the money in the world, and if you're sick, I mean, look at Steve Jobs. He I don't know how many billions, 30, 40 billion. How much is he worth? And what would he trade for a new pancreas? He would have traded all his money in the world for a new pancreas, but he couldn't do it, because obviously, he was too far gone. So really, money's like a tool that you can use to better your life and to get all the things that you want and to provide freedom and to do what you want. But if you're not healthy, you're not eating right, it doesn't matter, because you get to a point where you've got all the money in the world, but you don't have your health, and then it's too late. So that's what I'm saying. Just look after your body first, or try to eat healthy, and you'll start to notice changes. And it takes a while, but it's worth it. It's worth it. I know I was a bit long-winded.
That's all good.
But that's kind of like, I'm just telling you guys what I'm experiencing. And, I know it's not related to crypto, but it's kind of like, it's all the stuff you got to know, because it's a journey. It's literally a journey from A to B. It's a long journey. And you've got to do all the things right. Your ducks are going to line up. That's literally what it is. All your ducks are going to line up. If you haven't got this right, if you haven't got this right, you're not right. This, like a BitBoy, he just self-destructed because all these ducks weren't lined up. He was just doing, so don't be like him. I wouldn't care. I don't care if I've got $30 million. But if I'm just all over the place and unstable like him, it's not even worth it. It's just,
No,
it's crazy.
that's it.
So yeah,
that's it. I've got some other random news before we finish up, if you like.
Yeah.
Do you remember, I don't know, a year or two ago, remember Elephant Money?
Oh, yes.
Which I was heavily into, which
yes.
I'm sure I still got an investment sitting there that I can't do anything with, right? I'll just show you. And don't, whatever you do, nobody get into this. This is not my exercise. I just want to show you the chart for Elephant Money right now. So can you see the chart? Yeah, so this, do you remember this was when it went crazy and then the exploit happened?
Yeah.
So, and they drained all the money out of the system. Unfortunately, good for somebody, but and then what happened was it slowly hit here and now it's starting to go up again and it's starting to go vertical.
What's causing that?
This is part of how Elephant Money works, because why I liked this protocol so much was that all the transactions, every time there was like a buy and a sell, right, there was a tax. And what happened was the protocol would take Elephant Money and store it in a treasury. So it takes a while, but after it's traded backwards and forwards, that little bit of tax keeps adding to the treasury. And that treasury is taking the Elephant Money out of circulation, right? And remember, 50% is held, and then they've got another treasury that takes up the remainder. So this graph is like inevitable, right? And it was happening back here, and if you even get rid of the spike, it's just progressive. And this is all part of how the Elephant Money worked. But what happened was, if you go to Elephant Money now, it doesn't help the people that got in when this happened, this event, and this I saw hack or whatever, when they drained all this money out of it. What happened was all the investors like literally lost, including myself. Okay, and that's DeFi, and it wasn't until recently, probably back in January, they started introducing a whole bunch of new programs, features, ways to attract money. And this is the result of it. But I suspect that the same thing's going to happen. There's going to be a hack or something crazy like that, and it will be the same old, I couldn't prevent it, the hack or whatever. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but it's great that it's working like this, but because it's multiple, DeFi contracts, it could easily be exploited again, I'm guessing. So I'd stay clear of it. But it is interesting how the charts went up, but it doesn't help me because my investments was in Stampede. And Stampede, I think last time I checked, it was Trunk. Trunk was like worth $1. I don't even have it listed here. Was it Trunk? Let me have a look at Trunk BUSD. Let me have a look at that one. There you go. So Trunk was stablecoin at $1. It's worth 16 cents. So that's where, this was worth $1, and I've basically lost 90% of all that money that I invested into that. And since then, they've created new pools, which have gone up in value. But anyone that was in these old pools that got exploited, that was the end of that. So that's the problem with DeFi. And this whole, good on the developer for, adding more and more products to it and attracting people to the program or whatever. That's great. But reality is something goes wrong, it doesn't change the fact that, millions and millions of dollars were lost doing that. So, yeah, just interesting side thing.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, yeah, you're right. I wouldn't trust it. That's what happens when when something happens and they screw up. Even if it's not their fault, it doesn't come back. It just doesn't. And that's just life.
No.
I've never seen a protocol that's come back. Like unless it's like a major layer one or Ethereum or something, little hacks like that. But I've never seen
it'll get exploited
major.
again for sure.
Yeah,
it will get exploited.
I'll not trust him.
No, the developer, is a good developer, but someone was smarter than him and exploited the system, right? So then, what's to say that it's any smarter now? Like exactly. He's a small team. It's only him and possibly a couple of other people. It wasn't like they had 20, 30 big devs working for him or whatever. So, good on him for making a product that's, paying yield or whatever. But, and I suppose that's why I liked it, because it was a simple thing. It was taxes from, buying and selling, and the fact that if you lock up, liquidity, like if you lock up the coins or the tokens, it does make a big difference to the price. So I think it's a great experiment, and it's gone a lot further than that. But interesting. Green Panther, is that what you wanted to show us?
Yeah. Okay. So the Canafox. Okay. So I know I've spoken this a few times. Canafox is the grow thing that I got into last year, and they did pay out. So they paid out. I basically bought it for 300, and they paid out 530 or something. No,
nice.
No. Sorry, my bad. No, they paid out 190. So I basically got 50% of the money back. But what they've done in the latest video, they've said that they've already rebranded. They rebranded a while back. The reason why they rebranded to Green Panther was because Canafox is the actual company that does all the growing. It's not them. It's
They're using the NFTs, the name of the company. Yeah,
they're using the name of the company. That's exactly right. So they didn't want the name of the company associated with the NFTs, even though probably it's the same people. They just wanted to kind of like separate them. So when you buy into the NFT, it's Green Panther, even though the NFTs are still Canafox, because they haven't changed the actual pictures and stuff or whatever, right? So that's why they rebranded to Green Panther. But also the latest thing is they're still doing the containers. They're still doing like 30 containers. They're trying to get to the schedule of 1 a week. So I would say this is probably one of the most successful small scale NFT projects that's ever been on the internet. They're paid. They're still going. The actual legislation, they're all above board. They get all licenses. This is like a professional operation. And they want to get to 1 harvest a week. They've got 30 containers. So they're slowly going to get there. And then that'll be like more harvests. That'll be more return for us that hold the NFT. But one thing that they've said is that obviously the elections in Thailand, the actual laws or the actual in stone, what's going to happen with the cannabis bill hasn't been voted on. So that's still up in the air. But what's been happening in Thailand is there's a lot of illegal growers. Would you believe it? That they would get a lot of this cannabis is being imported from the States. So apparently,
wow,
the States has good weed, and then it has this shit weed that I don't know what they called it, but they said that basically it was crap weed that they get from the States. So it must be like stuff they can't sell or just crap. They import it. People are importing it, right, from America to Thailand, and then flooding the market with this cheap weed, right? And the dispensaries, which is the shops, they're buying all this cheap weed because they can make more profit, right? And it's forced the price of the weed in Thailand down. So they're producing the weed, and they're getting they were selling it for 200 baht wholesale. Now they can only sell it for about 130 baht wholesale because of these bad actors. So that'll kind of work out later on, and once they catch these people, but there still will be a black market for weed. So in other words, what their weed that they're producing, they're not making as much money now because they can't sell it as at the wholesale price.
High prices.
High prices. Now they're going to go to their own dispensaries because obviously, you know, that's where the money is. When they grow it and then they sell it direct to the consumer, that's where the big money is. And obviously, but they have to invest in the shops and the, you know, the fit out and everything. But you know, they're selling the weed for 600 baht, and they're producing it for, you know, 100 and or whatever, 200 baht or whatever it is, 100 baht or whatever their cost is, right? So that's where the big money is. So the project's still going. It's just that don't expect a payout. You know, it's kind of like setting everyone up. Don't expect a good payout. You know, we got $109 last time. We might even get $100 next time, but it's still paying. So that's just Green Panther, and I still think it's a good project because all the people are pretty transparent, and yeah, it says a lot for NFTs because everyone knows the NFT market is just shit. There is no NFT market. It's just crap. It's all just built on hype, and it's come crashing down because of what it really is. So that's why I tell people: don't invest in crypto. Don't invest in NFTs. Don't invest in metaverse, staking. You know, just don't do it. Just only buy the solid stuff that's been around for years and years and will be around for the next 5 years. Buy that. That's what you want to. And the other stuff, like, don't even invest in crypto. But if you have the urge to, then just buy. Put a little bit of money in these speculative ones, which is just basically, if you're going to invest in it, just act as if you already lost the money.
Yeah,
like treat it like the casino. It's literally, And for someone that's been in crypto for a long time, it saddens me to say that because there's no real ways to make money in crypto unless you kind of like building something like some sort of project or some sort of platform, or you're basically building and selling shovels. That's what you got to do in crypto. Every industry does it. Every industry. If you look at every industry out there that is out there, there's people selling the picks and shovels, and then there's the gold diggers.
Yeah.
You can literally look at every single one. Thing that I've been looking at lately is the fashion line, right? With these people that they made, this one guy made $2 million in like 10 minutes. And the whole story of that was he had this fashion line. He brought out his own merch, and he had like a limited drop. And this is kind of like just one of the strategies that these guys do. But even in the this happens a lot in America. They sell a lot of like upcoming brands, their own brand, streetwear. That's what it is, right? Streetwear. And the big streetwear brands are like, Supreme. Like they're talking billions of dollars here. They're established brands. And even if when you look at the streetwear side of it, the people that are selling, the guys that are trying to make the brands and sell the actual streetwear, and then the guys that are selling the merch, the blanks. They're selling T-shirts. They're selling blank jumpers, blank T-shirts, blank hoodies, blank, whatever, shorts. Because what they do is then they run like a what do you call it? What was those things that we were doing later on down previously? Like, I know you were doing it. I tried a little bit, but I wasn't too successful. Yeah, it hooks up with Shopify.
T-shirts.
Yeah, print on demand.
Yeah, print on demand. Yeah, I haven't done it for a while, but it's still a great industry. It's very small here in Australia. That's all.
Yeah, well, that's a perfect example. Print on demand is they hook it up with Shopify, so now it's easy for someone to make their own merch line, right? But what are they doing? They're making it accessible, so now they don't have to worry about getting customers. They literally can just have a warehouse, have all their machines, and set everything up, and then once they hook up to Shopify,
people coming to them. Yeah,
constant orders. They've solved that issue, but so print on demand's another one. It's a perfect example of they're selling shovels, and the people that are gold digging are the ones that are trying to make their upcoming brand
money off this.
Which fail, or a lot of them fail.
Yeah.
So same industry, like exactly the same. It's just a different industry.
Yeah.
Same with crypto. People selling shovels, selling shovels, but there's a lot of people that are gold diggers. So it's not easy to become a shovel seller because you need usually big money to set up the infrastructure. But if you get into an industry that you have got big money to do it, you're set. So it's really interesting studying this stuff. I think it's fascinating.
Sure. Yeah, cool. I don't have too much else. I think that was all. I want to cover too much. There was only a couple of things. As I said, not much going on crypto this week.
Yeah. All right, guys. Yeah, I know a lot of stuff that we've been talking about. Sometimes we get up on a tangent and we don't really. We do talk about crypto, but we also talk about other stuff too that was really essential through this journey, which is important. And lately I've been hitting you with the health stuff, but I'm telling you now, it's a major part of your thing that you've got to get a grip of. Because I go on Facebook, right, and I look at, and I don't judge people or anything, but I'm just saying, I don't go on their Facebook wall and I say, dude, you're an idiot, man. You got to be looking after your body, or I don't say that at all. That's everyone's got their own choices, right? But what I find fascinating is when we were growing up, right, we'd be getting blind drunk every week. We'd be eating Maccas and shit KFC every week. We wouldn't care because we were 20 years old. It didn't matter back then, right? Because your bodies were young, we're smoking joints, chain smokers, right? We didn't care because it didn't matter. We were young, we were fit, we thought we were indestructible. Here's the thing. I'll go on Facebook and I'll still go and I'll see people that I used to hang out with, which I don't anymore, but they're friends on Facebook, so that's the extent of it. They're still doing the same thing. They're still getting, they're not getting blind drunk, but they're still showcasing their alcohol cabinet, and they're eating shit, and they're doing this, and that's fine. I'm not even going to go on their Facebook. Oh, be one of those people, right? I've got better things to do. But you can't do that sort of stuff the older you get because you're just torturing your body. This is going back to the mind thing. You're not going to last long, dude. You're just going to be like, you're going to be 50. Your head's going to be like this, blowing up like a balloon. You see people, their heads are like a balloon.
Yeah.
It's because their body's like fucking not right. It's not right. So, I don't know. I'm just kind of telling you how I see it. I'm not going on this Facebook rants and stuff and tell people that's their own thing. But I'm just saying, you got to take care of yourself, because once you make a bit of money, you got to be around. You want to be around for the next 20, 30 years to enjoy that money. And if it's just so important. Anyway,
100%.
That's about it, guys. Just wanted to tell you my thoughts on it and stuff. And I know we talk about stuff that's not related, but it is important, and that's why we have these sessions. We're down 25. We're in 25s, okay? So it's a good time to, if you got some cash to buy a little bit of Bitcoin if you can now, because it could all change next month. Well, it is a new month, but I mean, it could hit 30K this year. This month we're in the 25s. So then there's an extra 2.5%, 10%, 20% increase, 15% increase, on Bitcoin. So I'm just saying, mate, good to see you again, and
you too.
Probably catch up with you next week. Hopefully we'll have some more stuff to talk about crypto.
Yeah, there might be some new interesting stuff we can talk about. So that's all we can hope. We'll be here for when it happens.
I'm not going to start. I'm going to start weighing myself, but I'm not going to really. I'll try not to talk about too much, but I am excited about it because.
No, that's good.
It is exciting.
It's good.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a good week, and We'll see you next week, I guess.
All right. See you guys. Bye.
Good stuff. See you guys.